The attack came from nowhere. For weeks, SmackDown's general manager Nick Aldis had been getting jumped, blindsided, laid out in parking lots, backstage corridors, even in his own office. The blue brand was under siege, and nobody knew who was pulling the trigger. Until last night. When Aldis finally revealed the identity of his mystery attacker, the wrestling world lost its collective mind. Because this wasn't just some random storyline payoff. This was a calculated chess move that could reshape the entire landscape of Friday nights. The reveal didn't just answer questions. It opened a Pandora's box of possibilities that WWE is about to weaponize for the next 6 months. This is WrestleCore, and today we're breaking down why the unmasking of Nick Aldis' attacker might be the smartest piece of long-term storytelling WWE has executed all year. We're diving into the psychology, the booking logic, and the seismic career implications of this angle. But before we get into it, if you're part of the core, do me a favor right now. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, because channels like ours only survive when you show up and engage. The algorithm doesn't care about quality wrestling analysis unless you tell it to. So smash that like, drop a comment, and share this with your wrestling crew. We're building something special here, and I need you in the trenches with me. Now let's get to work. To understand why this reveal matters, you need to understand what WWE was cooking behind the scenes. Nick Aldis wasn't just managing SmackDown. He was the authority figure who actually felt necessary. Unlike the parade of forgettable GMs we've endured over the last decade, Aldis brought legitimacy. Former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, 10 pounds of gold, a man who understood wrestling history and carried himself like it mattered. When he made matches, you believed he had the authority to do it. But that credibility made him a target. The attack started subtle. A shove here, an ambush there. Classic wrestling storytelling. Someone's got a grudge, and they're making it personal. But here's where WWE got smart. They didn't rush it. They let the paranoia simmer. Week after week, Aldis would be on edge, looking over his shoulder, trying to maintain order on SmackDown while someone was systematically trying to break him down. The promos were fire. Aldis wasn't playing the cowardly authority figure. He was angry. He wanted to fight back, but he couldn't swing at shadows. The frustration was real, and you could feel it. That's the kind of selling that makes an angle work, when the GM isn't just reading lines, but actually investing in the emotion of being hunted. And the speculation? Off the charts. Social media went into overdrive. Was it a disgruntled wrestler tired of Aldis' decisions? Was it someone from his NWA past looking for revenge? Was it a calculated move by a heel faction trying to destabilize SmackDown's leadership? The beauty of the mystery attacker trope is that when done right, it gets the audience to do the storytelling for you. And WWE milked every second of it. Then came the reveal. Let's talk about how this went down. Aldis walks out to the ring, not to make a match announcement, not to introduce a segment, but to call out his attacker face to face. The arena is electric. This is the payoff everyone's been waiting for. And Aldis sells it like his career depends on it. He's not calm. He's not composed. He's already under extreme duress from the weeks of cat and mouse chasing.
He's a man who's been pushed to the edge, and he's ready to throw hands. The promo is tight. He runs down the list of attacks. He talks about the toll it's taken on him personally. He questions the cowardice of someone who won't step up and face him like a man. Classic babyface fire, and the crowd is eating it up. This is how you build sympathy for an authority figure. Make him vulnerable. Make him human. Then the music hits, and the arena erupts. Because the mystery attacker isn't some random mid-carder looking for a push. It's not a returning legend cashing in nostalgia. It's someone who makes perfect sense within the ecosystem of SmackDown's current roster. Someone whose motivations, once explained, recontextualize every single attack we've seen over the past 2 months. The ring generalship of this reveal is masterful. The attacker doesn't rush to the ring. They walk slowly, methodically, letting the moment breathe. The camera captures Aldis' reaction, shock, betrayal, anger, all mixing into one explosive cocktail. This isn't just a reveal. It's a character assassination. When the attacker finally grabs the mic, the promo they cut is surgical. They don't just explain why they attacked Aldis, they dismantle him. They expose every decision he's made as GM as biased, corrupt, or incompetent. They position themselves not as a villain, but as someone who had no choice. Someone who was forced to take matters into their own hands because Aldis failed them. And here's the genius. The crowd doesn't know who to boo. Because the logic tracks. The attacker's grievances are legitimate. Aldis, despite being a babyface authority figure, made decisions that cost this person opportunities. Whether it was unfair match stipulations, biased officiating, or ignoring their complaints, there's a paper trail of receipts that makes this feel less like a heel turn and more like a justified uprising. That moral ambiguity, that's top-tier storytelling. The segment ends with the attacker standing tall over a fallen Aldis, and the SmackDown roster floods the ring to separate them. But the damage is done. The reveal didn't just give us an answer, it fundamentally shifted the power dynamic on Friday nights. Now let's pull back the curtain and talk about what WWE is really doing here. First, this reveal solves a major problem. It gives the attacker a legitimate main event level program without needing a championship. In modern WWE, there are only so many title feuds to go around, but a blood feud with the general manager? That's a storyline that can carry premium live event matches, special stipulations, and massive heat without touching a single belt. Second, it protects Aldis. He's not being written off TV, he's not being buried. Instead, he's now a character in the story, rather than just a facilitator. That's a smart play, especially if WWE wants to keep him on screen long term. Authority figures who only make matches get stale. Authority figures who have skin in the game stay relevant. Third, and this is the big one, it sets up a long-term arc that can evolve. The attacker doesn't need to be a pure heel. They can operate in that gray area where the audience is split. Some fans will side with them because their grievances are valid. Others will back Aldis because he represents order and fairness. That tension is money. It's the kind of storytelling that drives engagement, splits the crowd, and creates water cooler moments.
From a booking perspective, this also keeps SmackDown unpredictable. If the attacker's goal is to destabilize Aldis' authority, then every decision he makes moving forward is under a microscope. Every match he books, every call he makes as GM, it's all ammunition for the attacker to use against him. That creates an ongoing narrative thread that can run for months. And let's be real, WWE needs this kind of investment on SmackDown. With Roman Reigns in and out and the women's division fluctuating, having a red-hot upper mid-card feud that doesn't require title stakes is exactly what the show needs to maintain momentum. Backstage, the buzz is that this angle was pitched by the attacker themselves. They saw the opportunity to elevate their character, presented the idea to creative, and WWE ran with it. That kind of self-advocacy is rare, and when it works, it pays dividends. This isn't a wrestler being slotted into a role. This is a wrestler creating a role and making it work. The fallout from this reveal will define both careers. For Aldis, it cements him as more than just a figurehead. He's now a character with stakes, vulnerabilities, and a personal vendetta. For the attacker, it's the launching pad into the upper echelon. If they can maintain this heat, if they can deliver in the ring during the inevitable blow-off match, this could be the program that takes them from solid hand to main event player. So where does this rank? Look, we're not talking Austin McMahon levels of revolutionary storytelling, but we don't need to. What we have here is a smart, patient, and logical angle that respects the audience's intelligence. It didn't rely on gimmicks. It didn't rely on nostalgia pops. It relied on character motivation, long-term planning, and emotional investment. In an era where WWE is often criticized for short-term booking and abrupt pivots, this mystery attacker storyline is proof that when they commit to a slow burn, they can still deliver. The reveal wasn't just satisfying, it was justified, and that's rare. From a ring psychology standpoint, the build-up was textbook. You had the mystery, the escalation, the personal stakes, and the payoff. Each attack was choreographed to build tension without giving away the game too early. The reveal itself was executed with precision, letting the moment breathe and giving both Aldis and the attacker room to sell the gravity of the situation. If I'm rating this on pure storytelling mechanics, it's a solid 8 out of 10. It's not perfect. There were a few weeks where the attacks felt repetitive, and you could argue they could have trimmed a week or two off the build-up, but the payoff was strong enough to justify the journey. As for where this sits historically, it's not going to be remembered as a defining WWE moment, but it will be remembered as a good WWE moment. The kind of angle that hardcore fans point to when they want to prove that the company can still tell compelling, character-driven stories when they focus. And here's the thing, this feud is just getting started. The reveal was chapter 1. What happens next, whether it's a grudge match, a stipulation blow-off, or an unexpected alliance, that's where this angle will earn its legacy. Before we wrap this up, I need to ask you for something. If you've made it this far, you're clearly part of the core. You care about wrestling the way I do. Not just the flash, but the craft.
And that's why I need you to do 3 things right now.
Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves wrestling as much as you do. This channel only survives if you engage. The algorithm doesn't promote quality content unless you tell it to. So if you want more deep dive breakdowns, more brutally honest takes, more WRESTLE core analysis, then show up for me the way I show up for you. Hit that like button, smash subscribe, drop a comment. Let's build this community together. Now here's my final question for you, and I want you to sound off in the comments. Do you think the mystery attacker was the right choice? Or is there someone else on the SmackDown roster who would have been a better reveal? And more importantly, how do you see this feud ending? Let me know. Debate it out. I'll be reading every single comment. This is WRESTLE Core. I'll see you in the next one.